Today we just completed our second annual water summit for the 46th Assembly District. Water being one of the most critical infrastructural needs of our time and for our state and especially for our region. I thought it important that annually I have an opportunity to communicate to my constituents what are some of the major issues that the Assembly is working on, their state legislature is working on, as well as to update them on major future investments that we're making today. Given that this week also fortuitously happened to be the week that we passed the water bond, it was important to highlight what the water bond was going to do for my constituents.
One of my goals is going to be to make LA and San Fernando Valley as water independent as we can humanly make it to be. That's going to take some major investments right now that we need to make. One of the bills that I worked on last year as my first year in the Assembly was AB 850. It's a rate reduction bill. It allows DWP to pair up with other water agencies and create a JPA, a Joint Powers Authority, which will then allow that JPA to sell bonds that will go towards the critical infrastructural investment that DWP is going to need to finally clean up our groundwater. We've gone to being able to use and extract less than half of our own groundwater. That is something that actually keeps me up at nights, because I worry with that increasing contamination that unfortunately took place over the course of the last 100 years because of the GM plant, aerospace plant, many other industries, some mom and pop businesses as well, unfortunately. What happened. We just now need to make the investment to make sure that we clean up and we're able to have clean aquifers for reliable water that we will use ourselves.
Forums like this allow us the opportunity to not only educate on the issues that we're facing as a state, but it also allows for us to get the feedback, hear about concerns, and hear about potential opportunities where we can ask our constituents to be engaged in some of the efforts and help complement or cement our work.
Governor allowing fracking to be done, which requires billions of gallons of water, which then ends up as polluted waste.
So in my first term of office, I've already introduced 2 different bills trying to find an angle of restricting the use of hydraulic fracking. My second attempt this year, which was much more what I thought, it was a sentence-long bill. All it said was, let's give local control of fracking permitting and abilities to our local agencies. And that way, whatever local municipality or agency or county wants to come up with its own measure on to what extent it wants to ban or restrict fracking, they'll take it upon themselves to do it. Well, that didn't get out of the first committee even. So I look to working with all of you and seeing how we can hopefully address that issue at some point.
Water is much similar to many other issues we have. There's the immediate individual component, and there's the vast statewide component, and there's the regional component in the middle, of course. And it's very important for us to be educated on what steps individually we can take to make sure that we're conserving, we're aware of what projects are coming about, we're aware of the tie-in of the local investments that need to be made to complement the longer-term investments that we're making and partaking in.